Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to finals weekend at stage 2 of the 2017 Hyundai Archery World Cup in Antalya, Turkey. My name is Stephen George and I'm your commentator today. I'll be joined by some expert voices from the archery world as we bring you full coverage of this weekend's finals. Today is compound finals day. All the archers you'll see shooting use the compound bow with its distinctive mechanism of pulleys and wheels at the top and bottom. Today we'll see the medal matches for men's and women's teams, mixed teams and the individual events. Welcome to sports fans joining us live on NBC. We're very happy to have you with us. Some great matches coming up with some of the biggest names in USA archery and plenty of hot archers from all over the globe on show here on the beach. This arena's been specially created for this weekend's events. The blue carpet laid out over the shingle of the beach, the grandstand just perched on the water's edge, and the cliffs looming up behind the targets, which are 50 meters away from where the archers stand on the shooting line. It's just after 11 a.m. The weather is scorching, as you might expect for Turkey in the summer. The wind is fairly low at the moment, just gently pulling at the flags which hover above the targets, which is something that the archers always have to take into account, and we'll have more about that later. And with me in the commentary box with expert analysis and insight is USA archer Danielle Reynolds, 2015 World Cup team bronze medalist. Danielle, good morning.
Good morning.
So it's been a long week of qualification and elimination. These are the big international tournaments. We're down to the last few matches. So what are you particularly interested in seeing today?
I'm personally really interested in seeing the compound women's gold match because you got teams 1 and 2, so it'll be a good battle. And then, of course, our USA men's team is going for gold as well. So obviously going to root for that too. Absolutely.
So you've got the compound women's team here. So you've got Denmark and Colombia going for gold and silver, and India and Italy going for bronze in our first match. And there's a real mixture there of youth and experience in our first match. So let's get down to it. The compound women's team bronze medal final coming right up. So the Italian team out onto the field of play first. Marcello Toglioli leading them out, followed by Irene Franchini and Viviana Spano. The Italian team ranked 6 in this tournament this week and ranked 11 in the world. Here they are, taking the applause of the crowd here. First up, out on the beach in Antalya. They wait for their opponents, the team from India, who will be about in a few minutes. Here they come in their bright pink uniforms. The Indian women's team of Divya Dayal, Jyoti Sureta Venam and Sinal Mandari. Average age of the archers in this team, 19 years old, so a young team waving to the crowd.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's so young, especially out in this field. It'll be interesting to see what happens, how they do.
It certainly will. I mean, they're very closely matched up this week. You know, India qualified in 5th, Italy in 6th. So, you know, this week not much to choose between them, but actually the Italian women much more experienced.
Right, and that's a team, I mean, we know them well. Most of them have a lot of success individually and in teams, so they've been here multiple times.
Absolutely, Toglioli's a multiple world champion in the team events, and,
yes.
and you know, she knows all about it. We'll wait to see. It'll be interesting which order the archers shoot in, won't it? Because you know, so much depends on who shoots first, right, and who the anchor person is.
That's always a big debate and trying to figure out what's going to work best.
So India will get us underway. They're on target number 1. They're in the pink uniforms, as I said. And they open up with an 8.
And sometimes that happens, like the first shot is like getting used to it, sighting in. I mean, they haven't been on this field yet, so they'll probably tell each other, like, okay, this is what happened, this is where I aimed.
And the practice field is right next door, isn't it? So
there we go.
There you go. So a 10 for Mandari. And this is Venam to finish up the first 3 arrows for India, 18 so far. And a 10 for her as well. So that's a really strong start, isn't it? 28
Definitely,
points
yeah.
from a possible 30.
And they look very confident and calm coming off the line, so they knew it was there.
Yeah, they do, don't they? So this is Franchini to kick off for Italy.
Nice start.
Smashed that one right down the middle of the target. Spano will go next. Usually the order stays the same throughout the match, isn't it? That's something that they practice, getting up to the line, getting away again. So they use the minimum amount of time. A 9 for her. So they've got a 1-point advantage, really, if you think about it at this stage. And it will be Tognoli, vastly experienced, to finish up their first 3 arrows of this 6-arrow end. Away it goes, and another 10. So just a point in it. You've shot your first arrows as a competitor now in the match. How's that feeling?
It's almost a relief. You're like, the first one's over, the rest is going to go smoothly and good. I mean, you can only hope for that at least, but.
Ten for Dial. She's only 15.
Wow.
So, you know, that's some composure, isn't it? 8 with her first arrow, 10 with her next. She's kind of remedied that little margin, hasn't she? And Harry with another 10.
The smile.
Yeah, and the fist bump with the coach. I mean, you know, they rely heavily on the coaches now, don't they? Just to keep them focused, I think.
Yeah, a lot of the coaches for us, we just want someone who will keep us relaxed and having fun. And
so all 10s apart from those 2 8s, 56. So does that open the door slightly for Italy to edge?
You know, it might, but it's going to be close. I mean, there's evenly ranked teams. And
9.
Franchini with a 9. So an X and a 9 for her first 2 arrows. She'll be happy with that, I guess.
Probably. You always want all 10s, but keeping in the gold's good too.
So a little bit of pressure now on Tognoli. A 10 to level the scores after the first end.
8.
And it's an 8.
Yeah, a little bit of bobble in that bow you could see on the close-up. So
Yeah, so what was going on there? Do you think that was a little bit of wind just taking that, or what was happening in her technique there?
you know, it's hard to tell. It could have been the pressure from, okay, I need to shoot 10, but with how much experience she has, and you can see some of the flags. My guess is a little bit of wind, and then the timing thing. In team rounds, you don't have time to let down if the wind, you feel it coming. So just make the best shot you have. And
For sure, because you can't. I suppose last arrow of your team, you've just got what your teammates have left for you on the shot clock, don't you? And that's. We just watched that in slow motion there. It's amazing. It's amazing to me how still the frame is. How still you guys can maintain that shape. So you can see the scores of the arrows being marked. And India do have a 2-point lead over Italy. Remember that a maximum of 240 to score. Not going to happen today, of course, but in this match. But a 2-point advantage for the Indians, which means that the Italians will shoot first. So what are they going to be trying to do right now?
They're going to probably try to just start off strong, put a little bit more pressure on India, see what happens. And because those first three, because then they switch off. So then they're in their head, they're thinking, okay, Italy just shot this. Now we need to match that or shoot better to keep our lead.
So Franchini will start off for the Italians, an X and a 9 with her first 2 arrows. So she knows how to find the gold. And another 10 for her. So the little routine they go through when they walk off the line, do you share any information there about the shot?
I mean, sometimes I think every team's different. A lot of them want to stay focused on their own shot, and some want to communicate, and they might wait till after they shoot the 3, or they might do it right then.
So maximum points for Italy with their first 2 arrows. Shot clock ticking down past 70 seconds remaining as Tonioli takes aim. Wow.
There's that pressure now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that really swings the pressure back onto the Indian team, doesn't it? Because they've got to try and keep pace with that now. That's
Right,
their
that
lead from the first end almost eaten up, isn't it?
Directed it into the, it almost looked like on that one.
So this is Mandari. Her arrows away. That's a 9. So a fine line now between the arrows. Just a point really in this end. Venam goes next.
8.
And she lands an 8. So the total, they've cut the lead to just a point now.
Well, not even. It's switched, so they lost that point to...
Yeah, those 3 10s for Italy really making the difference there.
They're still keeping in the gold, so they're happy.
A 9 for Spano. So 48 points for this end. The final arrow of this end for Italy. The wind's picked up a little bit. You can hear the flags fluttering, and that's reflected in that shot, isn't it?
Definitely. I mean, on some of them, you could see her thumb coming on and off that peg. It's like trying to time that wind. A lot of it is timing on when you release that shot.
So back with India and the 15-year-old Dayal, shooting very well so far. 10 with her last arrow, a 9 with this one. So 91 plays 110 at the moment as Mandari takes aim. Wind's dropped again a little. She takes full advantage of that. X10 right in the center.
Yes, that was a great shot.
So a 9 will bring the scores level here on the beach in Antalya. And it is a 10. So we've got 111 for India and 110 for Italy. So Danielle, we were saying, you know, that we've got a very experienced team in the Italians and a much more junior side in India, but actually a point in it at the halfway stage. That's quite incredible.
I mean, that just shows anything can happen. I mean, they all are great shooters, so it's just, you're either having, like, they might be having fun because they're excited, and the other one might feel a little pressure, like, we've been here before, we know what we're doing, and then they feel like it's an expectation that they almost have to win. So it's definitely an interesting matchup, and that's why the scores, they're so close. They keep flopping back and forth on the lead.
And the wind's definitely playing its part, isn't it? And, you know, we're in the finals weekend, of course, but everyone's been shooting on a different field up to now, haven't they? So we're a few miles away with different conditions entirely. So, you know, the moment the archers come out onto the field here, they're shooting in this environment for the very first time, aren't they?
Right, so it's a totally new field, different wind. I mean, the wind might be in different directions than we've been used to all week, so different lighting. I mean, everything plays a little bit of difference in your shot, and mentally you're trying to just stay calm and just focus on your shot in that situation.
So at halfway stage here, what's your coach saying to you right now? If you're 1 point ahead.
Keep it. You want that, you know, you just want to keep making the same shots. They're shooting good, so if they just keep doing what they're doing, they should be set. A few more 10s and they're golden.
So Italy there sat on 110 points at the halfway stage. Their team is Irene Franchini, Viviana Spano and Marcella Tonioli, and it will be Franchini who will shoot first in this third end. The bright blue of the finals venue must be a factor as well. It must be very, very bright out there. 10 for Franchini.
I know for me, I wear glasses, and so I don't usually get to wear sunglasses ever. So some shooters might, none of them, but she has them on her hat. So when she's not shooting, my guess would be pull them down so you're not squinting the whole time. And
Spano's arrow is away, and that's a 9, so a 9 and a 10 to start for Italy. For Tonioli, 29 for the end so far. That shot there really actually captures as well the distance, doesn't it? And the real challenge. You know, you're trying to hit something that's about the size of a CD and it's 50 meters away. When you first picked up a bow, you think, I'm never going to hit that in a million years.
No, you start with it right in front of you, the target. You're like, yeah, I hit it.
But they'll have confidence that they can be in the gold more often than not now. And that's just hours and hours of practice that takes you to that point, isn't it?
I mean, with such a young team for India, I wonder how school plays a effect in that. Do they train all day and just do school on the side, and how that all works? I'm not sure how they do it there, but
it must be tough to balance life
everything.
And archery. You know, thousands and thousands of arrows you need to shoot in practice, really, don't you?
I mean, to keep that consistency, it's definitely helpful to be able to shoot that many.
So Venam, the anchor archer for India, with an 8. So 27 plays 29, and we're back level now with the total score for 139 each. Very tense.
Yes, I'm like, oh, what's going to happen?
But the coolest person in the whole place is Franchini. Lands another 10. Fantastic effort. And a 9 for Italy, bringing their score for this end to 48 and their total to 158. Finishing up is Tonioli, steady as a rock on the shooting line. Away her arrow goes, right into the dead center of the target. Just tell us a little bit about that inner 10 ring. Why is that relevant in compound archery?
For the X, a lot of it is like ties. So we shoot offs, you obviously want closest to the center, so you want to hit that X, and it'll help for if there's any ties, but it's still a 10. 10's a 10. Still get the same points.
And you see on the scoreboard there the inner ring represented by an X. Not like a strike in bowling, but you know,
yeah,
it's still a 10, as you say. psychologically, when the margins are very narrow, you know, your X's really count, don't they? Because you think, I'm closer.
Definitely. You're like, I'm making that much better of a shot. I mean, a 10 line is good because you still get the points, but when you shoot an X, it's like, I did it, and that was a great shot.
So a bit of a rogue 7 there for Mandari of India. Dragged back into it by Venam, finishing up with a 10, 3/4 of the way through this match, and it's swung back in favor of Italy actually now, and they've got a 3-point advantage. That's quite a swing in, you know, 4 points in one end.
Yeah, definitely anything can happen in these fields. It's that one arrow sometimes, and you got to just shoot the 10s to make up for it, and still anything can happen with one end left.
Which they did. Now, yep, it's probably worth looking at the totals that these teams achieved on their way, you know, because what their likely kind of end scores are going to be. So, you know, you've got Italy sat on 168 now. And, you know, if we look at their semi-final defeat to Colombia, at this stage, they were ahead even of that. So, you know, they'd had 172 by this stage in the semi-final that they lost. So, you know, although they're leading in this match, they know they can probably shoot a bit better than what they are. So you've got 2 arrows left per archer. I mean, how do you cope with that kind of expectation? The pressure you put on yourself, apart from anything?
Yeah, a lot of it's a team effort, but you still, like, individually, you want to shoot the best shot you can, so you keep it for the team. You don't want to let the team down, and you just make the best shots you can, and at that point you have your friends or teammates or however they are supporting you, that they just want you to do the best you can too.
A little bit of a cheer from the crowd always helps too, doesn't it? Just to
to know that they're watching and cheering you on.
Okay, so final end, 6 arrows for each team. And it will be Dayal to open up for India. No shots away, and it's a 9. The shot clock ticking down, 120 seconds, 2 minutes, split over those 6 arrows. And Mandari takes it up. Her arrows away, and a 10 for her. She's shot pretty consistently throughout the whole match. That little rogue 7 just in the last end, but beyond that, you know, really very, very consistent. Venam, probably the most experienced of the 3. I would say she's the archer that I've seen most on the circuit, I think.
You know, I'm not super familiar with anyone, but she does. I believe I've shot qualifying with her a couple times, so I have seen her in the past.
So 28 with the first 3 arrows, just dropping 2 points. Italy's first arrow is a maximum, confident shot, you said. Yeah, absolutely. Sun is really beating down here now in Antalya. A little bit of wind taking the edge off the heat, but it's still very, very hot out there. And another X for Italy. Not dropped a point in this end so far. What can Tonioli do? Nine for her. So 1 point lead in this end and a 3-point lead overall. So the lead cut slightly. But, you know, 29 with 3 arrows, that's the Italians. What are they saying to the Indians there? They're saying, you got to come and get us, right?
Definitely. They're not going to give it away for sure.
10.
So 10 with the final arrow of the match for Dayal. And 9 for Mandari. So they are 213 points now. So this will give them their final score for the match.
9.
And it's a 9, 2-3, 2-2-2 they finish on. Which is actually their lowest score of the tournament.
Right. Yeah, they shot really well for all their matches to get here and a little lower.
Italy with a 10. They're really taking charge of this match now, aren't they?
Yes, they know they have it. Just a couple more shots and it's theirs.
But that
So they hope.
Yeah, well, that creates its own problems, doesn't it? When you can see, you know, you've just got 2 arrows to go, you've still got to shoot them.
You definitely.
And a 10.
I was going to say, sometimes those are the hardest 2 arrows, but they're making it look easy right now.
So 6 to win for Tonioli. She shoots 6 for breakfast, so, you know, let's see how this one goes. Be nice for her to finish with a 10, and she does. Look at that group. And it is Italy who take the bronze medal here in the compound women's team final on the beach here in Antalya, Turkey. Danielle, what do you make of that match? What did you enjoy?
I was excited. I was like on the edge of my seat because anything could have happened, and the points kept switching, and it's super exciting. But they know, they've been here so many times that they had that confidence, and that might have been just what they needed.
Yeah, I mean, India definitely the challengers there in that situation. But I mean, they ran it was a 5-point game in the end, so you know that's a pretty convincing victory, isn't it, in compound terms? But actually, they didn't walk it either. They had to earn that.
They earned that one, definitely. They shot great and
they know it too.
Well.
Yeah, they worked really well together. And one thing you could see on their faces, although that they were very focused on the shooting line, actually, as soon as they step away, the smile comes back, and you know, the team ethic is there.
And that's where the fist pumps and the coach comes in handy, just to keep everything, like, you want to be focused on the line, but then just having fun when you're off.
So congratulations to Italy. They take the bronze medal. Don't forget that Tonioli shoots again in the mixed team event with Sergio Pagni. So she's got another chance of a bronze medal later on in the day this afternoon. So that'll be a good bounce for her, won't it?
Yes.
She's got one in the bag already, and you know, she's been out, she's experienced the conditions.
Yeah, being out on the field definitely helps, kind of gets your feet wet and know what to expect, and so when she comes out, that might help her a little bit in her next match.
I guess if you actually get your feet wet, you probably missed the target by quite a margin this time. But it's
afterwards you can take a swim. You know?
I think everyone would deserve that, won't they? But so here we go. The coaches for the teams are coming out for our next match, and this is the gold and silver match. So who takes the spoils here in Antalya after a week of action? I mean, how do you stop getting tired? You know, you've been shooting since Monday.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it for our team is we like to have fun after we're shooting, just to kind of relieve the day. So we'll be in the pool, we'll have dinner, and just kind of relax, watch a lot of movies, and rest when we're not shooting. So that's kind of how we like to stay in the game and not get exhausted from all the shooting.
So here we go then. Coming out first, the team from Colombia in their white uniforms and carrying their bows and equipment up to the shooting line. Putting her bow down first there is Sara Lopez, the world #1. First of 2 appearances for her today, as she walks to the shooting line with her 2 teammates. There she is, Sara Lopez. Nora Valdez in the middle there, and a well-known face, Alejandra Usquiano, takes a bow. Very relaxed looking.
Yeah, I think they've been here once or twice.
For sure. And here come their opponents, who are no strangers to this kind of arena as well. This is the Danish team. Their shirts reflecting the Danish flag with the red background and the white cross there as they drop all their equipment back into the equipment area. No coach for the Danish, which is interesting because their coach Martin Damsbo is going to shoot in a couple of matches' time.
You can see he's over there practicing, but still supporting them from afar. He'll be cheering them on.
And they're, you know, ranked #4 in the world. Their match win average 73%. So, you know, They're well accustomed to coming out of these matches on top, aren't they? And you have your line judge there, Maria Larkina, who will be making sure that everyone follows the rules, as everyone generally does in archery. It's a very polite and ordered sport. So the Danish team of Tanja Jensen, Sarah Sorensen, and Erika Enar, and the Colombian team being led off here to shoot first by Alejandra Usquiano. 4 ends of 6 arrows per team, maximum of 240 points available.
9.
Pretty solid start.
Ten for Colombia, and Nora Valdez, the least experienced of the three in this team.
Definitely
but
see how that pulls together.
She's opened up with a real confidence builder there, hasn't she? And a 9 for Lopez. When the camera gets really close in on the face there, you can just see, you can see that it's almost like she's looking down a tunnel.
Yes, the focus that it takes and just staring down.
So 28 points to start off with Colombia. Denmark open up with a 10. And this is Ania, another 10 for her. Maximum points so far. And Sonicson, the world #2 archer, ranked individually.
10, 10,
and a 10 for her. So 2-point game already.
Yeah, they definitely wanted to capitalize on those 9s and take all the leads they can get.
Both teams choosing to put their least experienced archer, shall you say, in the middle. Does that protect them somewhat? He doesn't put the pressure of the first or the last arrow.
Somewhat, yeah, because on the first shot you always want to start off strong, give them something to aim at, and that last one, in case you run out of time, you want to make sure you can get a confident, quick shot off. So.
10.
So Usquiano's first 2 arrows, a 9 and a 10. Valdez here opened up with a 10 for all her inexperience. What can she offer with this one?
10.
Boom.
Does it again.
10. And Lopez, a 9 with her first arrow.
9.
And another 9 for her. So 57 points, only 3 dropped. So 27 points for Denmark with their next 3 arrows will take it level.
10.
Jensen with a 10. She's had a fantastic week so far, hasn't she?
She's been amazing. Yeah, it's been great for her this week.
It's a little bit of edge in this match, isn't there? Because Jensen knocked Lopez out of the gold medal match, didn't she? So, although they'll both be shooting later on.
This is like the first one, and then they have another rematch later on.
Absolutely. In fact, it's Jensen versus Sonicson in the gold medal individual match later on this afternoon. So, Denmark having a very good weekend.
Yes.
So 58 points they finish up with, 28 with those last 3 arrows. So they have a 1-point advantage over Colombia in this women's team compound gold medal match here. Look at that beautiful, beautiful scenery. That's the thing that World Archery do so well, I think, is they bring the matches, they take them out of stadiums and they put them right where the people are, you know, and right in the middle of towns and cities and fantastic locations all around the world.
Go, we say, where's the finals going to be? Where are we going to go? And here it's been in the same spot, but it's so beautiful that there's no need to take it anywhere else. So.
Well, Antalya is a really well-known destination for archers now, isn't it? I mean, you know, we come back year on year. Does that make a difference, even though you're traveling away from home? Actually, you're coming somewhere you know pretty well.
It's somewhat nice if you stay at the same hotel, you're used to the food, you know what to expect, and here we know, okay, there's a beach right there, and so it's kind of nice. You're not, no surprises. It's the same every time.
And you said earlier, you know, there's a very kind of, the way you talk about it's almost like a family. You know, you brought a different sort of family with you.
Right.
You know? all of your athletes and your trainers and your coaches and whatever, you know, you all socialize, don't you?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, we've traveled together so much over the months, and a lot of times it's the same. The guys have been shooting together for years and years, so they kind of, you all get together and hang out and shoot arrows.
So the official scores put the game at 2 points now, actually. 59 for Denmark and 57 for Colombia. So they're trailing, so they'll shoot first again. And Usquiano, ranked 13 in the world, will send down the first arrow of this end. And it is a 10. Valdez, 2 10s with her first 2 arrows.
10.
And another 10 for her. Not dropped a single point.
Yeah. We say the least experienced, but she's shooting great.
And the first 10 of the match for Lopez. And you can see that means a lot to her, actually. You know, she's not accustomed to the 9s, really, is she?
Finally, yeah. It's kind of a relief, then you know it's going to be there the rest of the time.
10.
10 for Denmark in response to the Colombians' perfect 30. You can see the shot clock ticking down there past 94 seconds for Denmark. They've got to squeeze all 6 of their arrows into 2 minutes.
9 or 10. Too close to call.
Looking like a 9 there, Danielle, I'd say, with that.
Yeah, just out.
It was
possibly
low, but hard to say from the angle. And Sonicson, no doubt about that one. A 10 for her. So still 1 point in it in favour of Denmark.
Eight.
8 for
too happy when
Usquiano.
that one went off.
Yeah, and what would you put that down to? Difficult to see any change in her action, but why do you think?
A lot of times just aiming, you know, you can make a good shot, but you're like, it wasn't quite aiming right where you wanted it to. And
10.
to me, I know where it's going to go a lot of times before it even hits the target, because you're like, that's not where I wanted
Really,
it to
you
be.
can feel it.
Yeah, you can feel it or see it in your sight picture. There's just different things that lets you know.
10.
There we go, another 10 for Lopez. X right in the middle. Congratulations amongst the whole team. Taking on board some liquid, because it's very hot out there, even if you are from Colombia.
9.
Jensen with a 9, still in the gold though. 10-10-9 with her first 3 arrows of this match.
Nine.
9 for Ania. So another 9 will tie up the scores, although if that second arrow you can see marked with a star there on the scoreboard is upgraded to a 10, then that would improve Denmark's
9.
score. And that's a 9. with the final arrow for Sonicson. So the scoreboard saying all square at the halfway stage, which is kind of how you might expect a match of this kind with these two teams.
Definitely, for how close they're ranked and how they've been shooting, it's going to be a good match, and I'm not surprised at all that it's tied up at this point.
I mean, you've stood on the shooting line with these girls all week, and I just wonder whether you've got a feeling that who's shooting better actually at the moment. You know, who's there or thereabouts.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, Denmark's definitely had a great week, so they're on top of it, and they're all shooting amazing individually and obviously as a team. So they might have the slight edge, but Colombia's been there so many times as a team on this field, so it can swing either way.
In many ways, in the compound section, it does feel like Denmark's weekend, actually, doesn't it? You know, 3 big matches for them, and you know, I guess that will give their team as a whole a lot of confidence.
Correct. Yeah.
So we have ourselves a tie after 2 ends, 1:15 apiece.
So we just checked their route into the final, actually. So you can see there that Denmark, they beat Chinese Taipei 231 to 230 in the quarterfinals, and then they beat India 233 to 230 in the semi-finals. So 233, their top score in the competition so far. You know, is that achievable this morning for them, do you think? They're going to have to bring their A game.
They would definitely have to shoot some. So I mean, there's only 2 ends, so they could definitely keep all those points in the middle and do it again.
So Colombia in the white. Utschiano to lead off, as she has been doing all match.
9.
Starts with a 9, 124 for Colombia. Valdez has been shooting brilliantly in this match, actually, hasn't she?
Yeah, very good.
9.
Another 9 for her, never out of the
That's
gold.
her first one, too, isn't it?
You're right. Yeah, I think you're right. For Lopez. She had a slightly slowish start to this match, actually, but never out of the 10 in the last 4 arrows now. So 28 for Colombia, 143 in total. Here come Denmark with Jensen to start with. 10 for her. Again, you know, Jensen and Sonicson will be shooting in the individual gold medal this afternoon, so this is great practice.
It's good practice. It's almost hard, though, because you go from relying on each other in a team, and then you have to shoot against each other. So it's a definite interesting feeling, but it's great for Denmark, for sure.
And another 10 for them. 135. So an 8 by Sonicson will keep the scores level.
10.
And it is a 10. So 2 points in it now for Denmark.
Nine
for Utschiano. When does it start thinking? When you start thinking, if we don't do something right now, it's going to slip away from us. When
you try not to think about that.
9 or 10, too close to call.
Because you can't control what the other team's going to do. So for us, just focus on the 1 arrow at a time. And
9
for Lopez. Slight look of resignation on her face, though, as she came back. She didn't bounce back to the coach as she normally does. 152 for Colombia.
10.
10 for Jensen. Nine for Denmark with their penultimate arrow of this end. So to finish up Solicson, the world number 2 at the moment in the individual tournament.
10.
Smashed it right down the middle of the target into the X. 174 for Denmark. They've got 4 points on Colombia now. I would not have predicted that.
Definitely not. I mean, that's a big lead coming into the last end, and they're definitely more relaxed now, and they know just keep doing what they're doing, and they have it.
It's difficult to tell, but you know, do you feel a kind of rhythm? You know, do you feel like, yeah, we've got this one? You know, like a train, you've kind of hooked up all the carriages and you're just going for it.
I mean, that's, you mentioned before, we shoot in the same order every time, and that's one reason why. Just keep it rolling. We just do the same thing over and over, and this team has shot together so much that they do it in their sleep almost, it looks like sometimes.
So Denmark were silver medalists in Shanghai last month, so you know they're on the verge of going one better this time. Neither team made the finals in Turkey last year, but on the world stage they're very experienced teams, aren't they?
Very much so.
You see the camaraderie between the two archers there in that shot. So Busquiano, little puff, bit of a deep breath, thinking, right, I've got 2 arrows now.
Let's see what we can do.
Yeah. So it's a 3-point lead after the totals have been confirmed by the judges. Sometimes that does happen, doesn't it? You know, they're scored one way and then just the measurements on the target.
Yeah, sometimes it all comes down to that arrow call at the target. They can see a little bit closer.
So 171 for Colombia, 3 points behind. And at this stage, you're looking for 10s, aren't you?
Yes.
Opening up with a 10 for Busquiano, exactly what was needed. Very near the dead center of the target. Valdez performed brilliantly all match so far, but that's a rogue shot from her.
Yeah, that's a rough one. And
Lopez with a 10, 28 points for Colombia. Will they be happy with that, do you think?
at this point, you can't be too happy with that one because they needed perfect shots to catch up. But I mean, it's still good shooting. They had some great X's there.
9.
9 for Jensen, keeping the pressure on. Another 9 for Denmark, 18. So anything better than a 7 will maintain their lead. You suspect, though, that Sonicson has got gold in her sights, and another 10 for her. So they break the 200-point barrier. 202. So a 3-point lead over Colombia, and Busquiano's final arrow of the match.
8.
An 8 for her. So there's some fist bumps with the coach.
Yes.
But she'll be disappointed with that 8, won't she?
More than likely, yeah. And it's rough when that's your last one, so you don't have another shot to make up for it. That's what teammates are for.
Valdez finishes with a 10, and her record in this match, she's got nothing to reproach herself for, has she? She shot fantastically.
Oh, definitely.
10.
10 to finish up for Lopez. 227 for Colombia. Definitely on the lower end of what they're capable of. And Denmark really in a commanding position now,
Yes.
aren't they? That creates its own pressure too, as you said. You know, in the match we just watched, team shooting last, they've still got to shoot the arrows, haven't they?
So anything can happen, you know, you just gotta finish it up.
So Sonicson takes aim, knowing a 7 will take the title. And it is a 10. A 10 for Denmark. Sarah Sonicson finishing it off. So Denmark take the spoils, one better than they managed at stage 1 in Shanghai last month. Gold medals for Erika Ania, Tanja Jensen and Sarah Sonicson. Sonicson, of course, gets 2 more chances for gold today. She goes in the mixed team and the individual events this afternoon. So we could see a hat trick of gold medals for her today. Fantastic start to the day for the Danish team. The Danish men shoot against Team USA for gold, coming up just after midday. But for now, though, smiles all round for the women. They've capped off a long week of shooting with gold here at stage 2 of the Hyundai World Archery World Cup in Antalya, Turkey. And Danielle, that was perhaps not as close as we thought it was going to be, but still really, really intense match.
Definitely. I mean, I thought it was going to be a lot closer, even shoot-off worthy, but it was still a really great match between the two teams.
Who impressed you in that match particularly? You know, it's a team effort, of course, but you know, you look at those middle 2 archers. Actually, they shot beautifully.
They did. They almost shot better and the same as the other archers who we say have more experience, but sometimes greatness comes all the time, and they're obviously not bad archers when they're on this stage.
For sure. Yeah. So when you walk off after a match, then what's the feeling? Is it a massive sense of relief, or how does it feel?
I mean, it can go either way. Sometimes it's relief, sometimes it's excitement, like you just did it. I mean, they still shot great, and
we see some of the slow motion footage of the match here. Just to explain a little bit of the, you know, the bows actually are very, very high tech, aren't they? They're you know, quite technological pieces of equipment.
Right, and there's so much that we put on them, and everyone sets them up a little differently and has different equipment, but for the most part, it's all the same basics, and we just tweak them how we want, put different things that help us perform the best.
Does one bow versus another make a difference, really, or is it really down to the archer?
At this level, it's pretty down to the archer. A lot of it's mental, how you perform under the pressure, but you know, little tuning tricks and things with the bows, every little thing helps too, so.
So here we go then into the men's team competition. 2 more matches for you this morning. And we're looking at the compound men's team bronze medal final. And this will be between 2 fine teams who shot fantastically all week. And joining us on the shooting line, first of all, in their pink uniforms, is the team of India, ranked number 4 in the world, and qualifying in 6th place for the competition this week. Abhishek Verma, Chinaraju Sritha and Govinda Singh are the archers on target 2, representing India in this bronze medal match. They look very relaxed.
Yeah, definitely comfortable and out there to have some fun.
And here are their opponents, the Frenchmen in their white uniforms. Joining us on the field of play here, Fabien Delebel, Dominique Genet and Pierre-Julien Deloche are the French team. Genet at 48 is the oldest archer in the competition, I think. So plenty of experience in the French team.
Definitely, and they look very calm and ready to do their job, and they know what they're doing.
They do, and the judge for this match, indicating that France will shoot first, is Shahzad Alari. And the buzzer goes. It will be the French archers who will get us underway. A bronze medal at stake in the beautiful surroundings of Antalya, Turkey. And Deloche, a former world #1, opens up with a 10. That's kind of what you expect from him, isn't it? You know, he's a very cool customer, isn't he? So Genet, the first of his arrows.
9.
And a 9 for him. And Delabelle with his first arrow.
10.
And a 10 for him as well. So 29 points. And the French will be happy with that opening, won't they?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So Srita of India to begin.
10.
And a 10. Difficult to get much more dead center
I was like,
than
that was perfect.
I'd be happy with a few more of those over the course of this match. As Govinda Singh takes it up. Away his arrow goes, and that's a 9. On the line between the 8 and the 9, but you hit the line, you get the point.
Definitely. I mean, 9's a 9. Doesn't matter how close or far it is from that 10 ring.
You'll take it, that's for sure. So, Abhishek Verma has the final arrow, and a 9 for him. So 28 plays 29. Just a point in it, but very early stages. Yeah, difficult to draw any conclusions. Another 10 for France. So both the first two French archers shooting with sunglasses, actually. That's the first time we've seen that out here on the finals field. You said that's something that you do sometimes.
In between, I've never shot with them, but I've seen a lot of people have used different shooting glasses and sunglasses to help cut that glare, especially with that blue carpet that we were talking about. It's pretty bright out there.
And another 10 for France. 2 X's in that group of 6 arrows, only dropping a point. 59 from their first end. So it'll be down to India. They need maximums, really, just to keep the lead at 1. And it slips a little bit further back with a 9. Seeing with a 10. Happy with that shot. So a 10 from Verma will keep the lead at 2. And it's a 9. So a 3-point advantage to the men from France after the first 6 arrows. Both teams settling themselves down. So Danielle, have you got a pick for this match based on what you've just seen?
I mean, they're both shooting good. They all can shoot 10s. We've seen that they got to this point, but I know the confidence now is with France, so either.
Again, margin's very slim. What's interesting is that France are ranked 6th in the world, and they qualified in 4th place for this competition. But the Indians, ranked 4 in the world, qualified 6th for this competition.
Yeah.
So their training blows a little bit.
We do remember his stellar performance in Mexico City as well at the World Cup final where he walked away with a beautiful shiny.
You can see the wind really tugging at the flags around that you can see in the screen there, so it's still a factor for these archers.
Definitely, it's always a factor, and it's whether you choose to aim off or stay aiming center, and every shot is different out here, so something to always think about.
Beautiful environment to shoot in, but challenging too. And the challenge is all with India behind by 3, so they get us underway in the second end of this competition. Sarita with the next arrow for the Indian team. And it is a 10. So all in the gold for him so far in this match. Singh, the youngest of the trio at 22, in the middle.
9.
And a 9 for him. And another 9 for India. 28 points with their first 3 arrows, taking them to 84. That's still enough at this stage, isn't it? You know, they're still in touch.
It's still good shooting, but at this point, sometimes you need those extra 10s to make up for the points.
9.
9 for Deloche with his first arrow of this end. Genet in the middle. Very serious expression on his face.
9.
9 for him. So Delabelle here. 10 for him. So 28 each for both teams. So the lead stays at 3, 87 to 84. Now 3 more arrows for India. Burma with another X10.
Those are the shots you want right now, for sure.
Absolutely. So this is Verma now, and his teammates have put a little bit of pressure on him, actually. And he's happy to oblige, so that's 10 for him too, 58. Only dropping 2 points with their 6 arrows there, 114. So France happy to play with the order of their archers, actually. So that's Delabelle finishing 1 set of 3 and starting the next. That's tactically quite different to what we've seen already this morning.
I've seen it a couple times previously, but yeah, it's different than a lot of the teams we've seen. It puts him starting him off strong and then finishing in case there's any of that time.
9
for Genet. Still a fist bump though. And Deloche at full draw, aiming at the target 50 meters away. Remember, only 12 centimeters in diameter.
9.
And it's a 9 for him. So 55 for the Frenchman and 58 for the Indians, which means they've leveled the match up, 114 points each.
Yeah, just like that, it's even, and now we don't know what to expect. It could go either way.
The halfway point of the match, yeah. And again, you've made this point, and it's a good one. You know, that if you're on this stage, you're here for a reason. You've earned this spot. You're one of the top archers in the world. This is the very elite level of this sport,
Definitely.
isn't it? So none of these archers are going to be happy with anything less than 9s and 10s, really, are they?
No, at this point, they probably aren't too happy with 9s either, because those 9s are the difference between winning and losing right now. We haven't seen anything outside the gold.
It's true.
27 years of age, currently ranked the world number 12. Also won the way to grab that gold
I feel for the coaches sometimes in these situations. You know, you've done everything you can. You've just got to stand there, and watch your guys shoot the arrows. You know they can do it.
It's hard. You want them to do it so bad, and then if they don't, you're like, all right, let's do it again, and keeping the archers happy. But when they do, it's a great feeling because, you know, the coach helped them get to that point. And
it's interesting to see the respect between the two teams as well, though, on the line. You know, it'd be very easy to get carried away and punching the air and making a load of noise that might put your opponent off, but they just don't do that.
no, you don't see too much of that. Sometimes the crowd plays a factor in that, you know, being loud for one team versus the other, but here it hasn't been too bad. It's very respectful.
Okay, so as we've seen from France in this match, Deloche finished off the last end and he's starting up the next one, maybe just to give him a little bit of continuity between shots, perhaps. And 10. Took a little while to frame that one up, didn't it?
Yeah, paid off though.
Genet consistently in the middle of the 3 shooting this morning.
9.
And a 9 for him. Just a little bit of information from the French coach there, just saying, you know, that went a little bit to the right.
Right, but it was just barely out, so it could have still been a good shot. So that might be a sight movement or wind adjustment.
Aiming there with a little bubble in the sight. Just very quickly, just explain how you use that to get the shot that you want.
The little bubble in the sight, sometimes you just want to make sure it's in the center every time, and different archers do different things. So if it's windy, they might adjust that bubble and lean it one way or another, and that'll direct the arrow in different directions. But I know for me personally, I just want to make sure it's always in the center, and I'll aim off on the target accordingly if I need to.
So India, another 10 for them, and some high fives amongst the team members.
They get very happy and excited. It's fun to see.
Nine.
And a 9 for Verma. A little rueful smile from him, actually, as he walks back to the line. And it's still all square, 143 points each. Back we come to the French team.
10.
And a 10 from Delebel. Something slightly more inscrutable about the French team, isn't there? They don't give very much away. You know, there's not a lot of
very serious.
Yeah.
9.
9 from Genet. And here is Deloche. His blue glasses shielding his eyes from the glare of the Turkish sun.
10.
Down the arrow goes. An X10 right in the center of the target. 58 points for France, 172 is their total. Srita now for India. His arrows away. They all go back to the coach, don't they? They all go back to the coach just for that little bit of reassurance.
Yep.
Like a parent.
Look, I did it.
A 9 there for Singh. There's no bad shots here. They're just shots in the context of the match, aren't they? What you need versus what the other guy is getting.
Exactly.
There we go, France, a little lead now, 1 point after the third end of action here. So I think we always knew this match was going to be close, given how evenly matched the teams are.
Right, and their rankings are close, so but you know, we saw the other ones were even closer, and it was not what we expected, so it'll be interesting
we haven't seen a shoot-off yet this morning, and those, you know, those can be very exciting because the whole match then boils down to 3 arrows, doesn't it? But I mean, do you think we could be in shoot-off territory here?
I hope so. They probably don't, but
the crowd's starting to get behind these teams now, actually. I think it takes a little bit of a while for the crowd to warm up, doesn't it? But now they know they're seeing something special. They're getting into it a bit.
Yeah, they're all waking up and excited to watch, and this is definitely a good match.
So 172 plays 171. The Indian team on target number 2, the French team on target number 1. So the French defeated Russia in the quarterfinals and then lost out to the USA, who we'll see next in the next match, against India here, who are shooting on target number 2, and they're back with Srita. Oh no, that's Verma actually. They've swapped their order again. So a little bit of order swapping going on in this, which is different to what we've seen in the women's matches earlier on.
Whatever it takes to get that air in the middle, sometimes switch it up.
Perhaps when you're playing catch-up, you just want someone to land a 10 for you, don't you? That's what you need. And there is one. Srita with a 10, 19 points for India. 190 their total so far. And Govinda Singh, ranked 47 in the world. Nine for him. He's going to be happy with his contribution. He's played his part, hasn't he? So back to Deloche, age 35, ranked 21 in the world, although has been as high as 10 in the as high as 1 in the past. Very calm and still. Away his arrow goes, slightly taken up north and to the right there, maybe by the wind perhaps.
It's
felt
possible.
like it.
Yeah, he didn't look too disappointed, so it could have just been a little wind.
We can feel the wind ourselves just blowing gently through the commentary position, can't you? And actually,
which is nice to cool us down for sure.
8.
An 8 there from Genet, the first time the French have been out of the gold. Could that be a factor? Because their lead is very slim still. Here's Delabelle, the lowest ranked archer on the field at the moment, at 85, but it doesn't matter. He's landed a 10, which is what the French needed because they were in danger of losing their lead, but as it is, it's 199 each.
It's almost a shoot-off. It all comes down to the last 3.
You're right. 3 arrows to decide it. 9 for India. Relief, probably. Don't have to do any more potentially in this match. I've done all I can. Singh with his last arrow.
9.
And it's a 9. So 2 9s. French maybe feeling they've got a chance now.
Kind of opens the door a little bit for him, but still not bad shooting.
So Verma, who's shot very, very well all match, away and ends up with a 10. 56 from a possible 60 for India, 227 for them. And here are France. And a 10 for Delabelle. from Genet. A little bit of relief from him after the 8 with the last arrow. So a 9 to win, a 9 to take the bronze medal for Pierre-Julien Deloche. He's had many medals hung around his neck in his long career. And it is a 9 for France, a 9 for Deloche, and it will be France who take the bronze medal here in the compound men's team event at the 2017 Hyundai World Archery World Cup Stage 2 here in Antalya, Turkey, and high fives all round. So it takes a bronze medal win to get the Frenchmen out of their shell, doesn't it?
I was going to say that's the most excited we've seen them all match, so that's good that they actually, I was a little worried they were just always that way.
Yeah, I guess.
No, they're very happy. The coach is so happy for them, you can see.
So, I mean, I guess you'd be, in a narrow match like that, you'd almost be relieved, I suppose, that you'd done the job.
Right.
A little bit of chat now between the archers and their coach. You know, even now, are you talking about the arrows that you shot, maybe, and you're saying, oh, you know, that one, I just pulled it, or I just took it one way or the other?
You try not to think about what's going on during the match, but afterwards, that's kind of when you think back and are like, what can I do better? What did I do well? And
so congratulations to France. They leave the field. They'll be back later on for the medal ceremony where they'll be presented with the bronze medals. And well done as well to India. They shot fantastically, very consistently, both teams. But in the end, probably just the greater experience of France just being the difference between the two. Always good to see a mixed fist bump high five in slow motion.
Yeah.
Better than being left hanging, I suppose. So the kind of main event now for the morning, our last match of the morning, and it is the gold and silver medal match between the USA and Denmark. You can see their routes to the semi-final here. USA took out Italy in the quarters and then beat France 235 to 232 in the semis. And their opponents, guys they know well, are the team from Denmark. So here we go then. It is the compound gold medal match for the men's teams, and we will welcome the archers onto the field of play, starting with the men of Denmark. Here they come onto the blue carpet laid here over the shingle beach of Antalya. The Danish team beat India in the semi-finals to get into this match, 236 to 234. And they scored 237 in the quarterfinals. So they'll be aiming for a similarly high score
very high
in this
scores.
match. They'll need it, won't they? So Damsbo, Darum and Hansen will be up against the archers from the United States, short of a big cheer probably, I think, as they come out onto the field here. The giant Steve Anderson with a message to the crowd. Not quite sure what that means, but I think
he's always a goof.
So the US team lining up on the shooting line. Steve Anderson there waving to the crowd. Takes his hat off very politely, as does Braden Gellentin and Rio Wild. All very polite gentlemen with their hats on. And Tommy Takeuchi is the line judge. He sends the archers back to the coaching boxes. And the match will be underway with the USA shooting first. Danielle, is that an advantage to shoot first, do you think, in a match like this where you want to establish your credentials early?
I would say so. A lot of times you just want to put that pressure on and start them off.
The USA have that virtue, of course, because they're ranked #1 in the world right now. So they would shoot first as a matter of course. It looks like Rio Wild will step up to the line first of all. Rio hitting a few more 9s than you might imagine for someone of his class.
Right.
But you'd put your house on him normally, wouldn't you?
9.
Another 9. Hitting a hole that he found earlier on.
Yeah, bud. Good strong shot.
Anderson with a 9. His first of the match.
Let's go, Braden. Pick him up. Good strong shot.
And here goes Galantin. And a 10 for him.
He knew they needed it.
He did, he did. 174 points for each team, and only 6 more arrows to go. This is great. This is exactly the match we wanted to see.
Right, and then as much as I'd like to see them have a big lead, it's a lot more exciting when it's close, and it makes it more fun, I personally think, watching.
Who here is in favor of Team Denmark?
So some nice shouts from the crowd for the Danish team. It's interesting, isn't it? You just look at Hansen there, he's got his hands on his hips, he's not smiling really, you know, he's not had a great tournament actually. You know, he knocked out a little bit earlier than he was expecting in the individuals, although we'll see him in the mixed team later, but you know, he's hanging his hopes on this match.
Right, I mean, he's been shooting well, it's just not quite there, and I was definitely surprised to see him go out that early. He's usually right at the top, and he's a great shooter, so this is definitely where he wants that win here.
There's not too many comparisons you can make between archery and other sports, is there? But it is one of those sports where you can only shoot what you've got, you know, and what you can shoot a personal best, and if the person stood next to you is 1 point better, there's nothing you can do about that.
Definitely, and that's the hardest part, is to know you did well. They just did that much better. Like, that could have been the best day they've ever had, and you had your best day, but theirs was just a little bit better, and anything can happen out there.
So the relaxation is over now. You can see on Rio Wild's face that he wants this. 9 for him. Something like 27 World Cup medals in his total career for Rio Wild. The more you got, the more you want, I guess.
Exactly.
Anderson with a 10, never in doubt, on fire at the moment. Here's Galantin.
9.
And a 9 for him, and he's not too happy with that shot.
Yeah, they know they need 10s at this point, because Denmark's not going to just give it to them.
No, that's 2 points dropped, really, isn't it? When you're that good, when you know.
Right. And we say gold is good, but sometimes you have to have those 10s, and 9s are not good enough. So 2 10s for the Danes, and Damsbo will shoot his penultimate arrow of the match. The clock ticking gently down as he takes aim. And another 10 for him. Exactly what the Danes need to do at this stage. Yep.
So they've got a 2 point lead on the USA here. So real pressure on Rio Wild now to come up with a 10. And it's a 9 from him.
You can tell he's not too happy with that right now.
Another 10 from Anderson. He's doing
Good strong shot, Braden.
a lot of the work here for the US team.
Everything
here,
he can.
Yeah. Gallatin with a 9. Moods changed a little bit amongst the 3 US archers there. Not quite so buoyant now, even though they're definitely still in this match. They know that a couple of those 9s should have been 10s, really.
Definitely.
9.
Denmark with a 9.
That's close.
Yeah, I might fancy that might be upgraded, actually. It looked pretty close to the line there. But we'll see. That'll be dramatic when we come down to it, won't it? Because
9.
that's a 9. So 230 the USA finished with. Their lowest score of the competition so far. A 9 to win for Denmark. And it is a 10 from Martin Damsbo. Congratulations to Denmark. The match goes to them, building on the performance of the women's team here this morning. Certainly taking inspiration from it. They have the gold medal. And Stephen Hansen, Andreas Darum and Martin Damsbo will climb the steps of the podium shortly. Hansen makes up for his disappointment in the individual event. He'll be back in the mixed team event here this afternoon with another shot for gold. But right now, as the sun shines down on all of us here in Antalya, it is Denmark who take gold in stage 2 of the 2017 Hyundai Archery World Cup. Congratulations to them, and 2 points the margin in the end. Danielle, what was the difference, do you think, between these two brilliant teams?
I think really it was just that confidence. I mean, they both came in confident, having fun, but when you got to remember, a 9 is not the end of the world, so they still need to keep shooting and anything can happen, and Denmark stayed very calm and just kept shooting and staying consistent, so they didn't let the frustration get to them. I
think that the Danes had a bit of a point to prove, maybe. I think individually the USA archers had gone deeper into the tournament, hadn't they? You know, we'll see Gallatin and Anderson later on in the individual medal matches, whereas the Danes had got knocked out individually themselves earlier in the week. And I did wonder whether actually that might play in the favour of the USA, actually, because they'd shot more, they were more confident, perhaps.
A lot of it, too,
back the other way, didn't it?
Yeah, individual is so much, it almost means so much more to each archer, so sometimes team isn't necessarily our focus, so a medal's great, but their focus is probably on their individual match, so that could play with it, too, where Denmark, this is what they had, this is what they needed to bring home a medal. They don't have another option.
That's true, yeah. And you don't, you see US archers more commonly in the individual finals than you do perhaps in the than you do with the Danish team, don't you?
Right, and the men wanted to bring some too because both of their women are in gold, so they're guaranteed. So they want to make sure they probably had something to prove too.
For sure. So we've seen our first 4 matches, and what do you make of the conditions out there now? What do you make of the setup here? You know, is it we got prime conditions for good archery here, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. The wind isn't too bad. I mean, I've seen it a lot worse, so I don't think it's playing too much of a role, just enough to maybe make you think about it, but not affect the arrows as much as we've seen in the past. And it's nice and bright. It's not no rain and nothing like that, so it's pretty great out here.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the wind a lot, but I think, you know, I've been to tournaments where you're fighting the elements, actually, whereas that's not the case
Definitely.
Here today,
Here you can just focus on your shot and doing your job and don't have to worry about what's going on around you.
So the field crew there, you can see in their green, they're the volunteers who've been helping all week, and you know, the archers are here, but actually the whole tournament is made up of lots of different people, and the volunteers keep things running smoothly behind the scenes all week long, don't they?
Definitely.
So we're very grateful to them for all their hard work. But they're building the podiums now, so we'll have the medal ceremonies very shortly, and we'll bring those to you. But what's been your favourite moment of the morning, do you think?
Man, that's hard. I don't know. I mean, they've all been great matches. I think that's the exciting part is across the board, there hasn't been one where you can just kind of sit back and be like, oh, you know what's going to happen. Like, they're all fun to watch. It's kind of all exciting.
Yeah, narrow victories in every case, and no one team really walking away with anything easily.
Right. They've all been earned. It's been a great morning.
So you get the afternoon off.
I do.
Thank you so much for being here. It's really, I think you brought a lot of insight into the minds of the archers and the coaches. Actually, I'm really grateful to you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
And having a chat with us. I hope you'll stay along just for a little bit longer while we get the medals, because it'll be nice to see your countrymen take to the podium.
Definitely.
Even if it's not gold this time. But
they still got to go up there, so that's all that matters.
I think, you know, in the World Cup circuit as well, you know, when you get to the World Cup finals, actually, it's just the individuals and the mixed teams, isn't it? So, you know, if you're a men's team or a women's team, these stage wins matter to you, don't they? Because they are, you know, those are your medals.
Mm-hmm.
And you, as you said, the archery kind of circus keeps rolling, doesn't it? So we've got Salt Lake City in just a week's time.
Yeah, they're not very far apart this time, so we have another one.
And will you be shooting there yourself?
I
Are you
will
looking forward
be
to
there.
that?
Yeah, I'm excited. It's pretty close to home, so I don't have to travel across the world to go to that one.
So here we go. Our first presentation of 2 this morning, just to wrap up business as the presentation party comes out onto the field of play, and we'll bring the compound women's team medalists out onto the field as they line up here.
Medals will be presented by Tom Dillon, World Archery Secretary General. Flowers will be presented by Aydin Yolash, Turkish Archery Federation board member. Bronze medal, representing Italy.
So there we are, hands aloft for the bronze medalists.
Irene Franchini.
Irene Franchini of Italy.
Viviana Spano. Marcella Tognoli.
And there's Marcella Tognoli taking her medal after Viviana Spano. They applaud themselves. Another medal for these archers around their necks, and flowers too. Tognoli not fully able to relax because she'll be back here this afternoon in the mixed team event, shooting with Sergio Pagni for a shot at another bronze medal. And the defeated gold medal match archers of Colombia step forward to get their silver medals. Sarah Lopez takes the medal, first of all, from Tom Dillon, the World Archery Secretary General. Alejandra Usquiano with her medal.
Nora Valdez.
And Nora Valdez, who shot fantastically in the match, actually. Less experienced than the other 2 archers on the podium there, but really, really shot fantastically. She'll be very proud with her performance all week and today as well.
It's great confidence too going into the next one, knowing that she performed that well here.
And for Colombia, you know, shooting at Salt Lake City, that's, you know, there's not even a time zone change for them probably there, so that's not going to be too bad in terms of travel.
The travel will be pretty nice for them too. I know when we went there, it was a lot easier than some of the other trips.
And here we go then, our gold medalists.
Tanya Jensen.
So Erika Ania, Tanya Jensen, and finally Sarah Sonicson getting a gold medal around their necks. Could be a big weekend for Sonicson. She goes in the mixed team event with Stefan Hansen. after the lunchtime interval. And she is also in the individual gold medal final against her compatriot Tanya Jensen as the archers turn for the anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our athletes.
So there we go, the women's team competition presentation is all done. And a little bit of conversation now between...
Here comes the podium selfie. I was waiting for it.
A fairly standard and expected ritual now, isn't it? It's great to see, though, you know, that once the competition's over, everybody's got a smile on their face. Everyone's a bit relieved that all that pressure's done.
Definitely.
You know.
And for some, it's not quite over, but it's still one down. You know, you can kind of relax and you know what it feels like and get ready for the next one.
What's it like when you pull on the shirt of your country and go and shoot?
I mean, it's a great feeling. That's what we aim for all year at home. We compete and see who gets to go and who gets to wear that shirt. So it's more than just a shirt, but a lot of times it's like you do it. You wear it, you go and just to wear that shirt and represent your country and perform the best you can. So it's a great feeling when you get to do that.
And if you've made it as far as the finals weekend, then although you might be disappointed not to walk away with the gold, if you've done your best, you know, you've had a terrific week, haven't you?
Definitely. Being out there is not an easy task. I mean, you should be happy just to be able to shoot on that field, so.
So we're waiting for the compound men's team presentation party to take the field. So you see the beautiful surroundings here. We're in Antalya, a well-known venue for everyone on the World Archery circuit, actually.
Definitely.
It's a great view with the cliffs there framing the targets. And you do get a really great sense there of the distances that the archers are having to shoot across.
Yeah, it's not close. A lot of times it's not as easy as they make it look. When
you first picked up a bow, Danielle, when did you kind of know that it was going to be your thing, your sport?
It took a while. It started out just camps, you know, you shoot and you're like, well, this is fun, but you kind of just got that feeling. I did a lot of other sports and I knew this was it. It was fun, it was rewarding, and it kind of came a little naturally at first. And so, you know, obviously it's a lot more work now because I have something to shoot for, but it was nice when I could show up to the range and just shoot my bow. Like, that's what I wanted every day, was just to go out there and shoot my bow and meet friends that are out there. So.
And what about your aspirations then for the rest of this season and beyond? Have you got points in mind, targets in mind?
You know, this is what I love. I love the World Cup circuit. It's kind of what I go for every year. So we'll see. Just I got to perform better at some of the next tournaments in the U.S. and hopefully get my ranking up so I can come back next year.
So here we are. Here's the guys.
Medals will be presented.
Awaiting their medals.
Turkish Archery Federation President.
The dignitaries being applauded by the crowd.
Will be presented by Cumhuriyet. Turkish Archery Federation board member. Bronze medal, representing France.
So here we go, the Frenchman to take to the podium. So, first of all, Dominique Genet, the oldest man in the competition, a little wave for the crowd. Yeah, Julien Deloche, a bronze medal around his neck. And well done to Fabien Delobel, the junior partner in that trio, but he shot some amazing arrows this morning, didn't he?
Definitely played his part in that team for sure.
So, flowers for the men as well. Presents a little bit of problem getting those home on the plane.
Yeah, I'd be worried I would forget to water them and kill them before I even got to the plane.
Silver medal.
But they are very pretty flowers.
The United States of America.
It's not unusual, is it, at these presentations, for as well as the medals, for there to be some kind of local gift from the organising committee.
Right, it's always different. It's really unique and fun to kind of see what they present.
I think in Colombia you had bags of coffee, didn't you? I seem to remember when you
Either coffee or like some little candy that was coffee, something like that, yeah.
So there we go, silver medals for Steve Anderson, Braden Gellington and Rio Wild. Another medal to add to Rio Wild's amazing collection. And handshakes now for the archers. Perhaps a little conversation about just how they are going to get those flowers home.
Right.
And here we go. What an achievement for these archers. It wasn't looking odds on, was it, in their match at the halfway point? It was really in the balance, and they just came through.
Just pulled it through, yeah.
Stefan Hansen, achieving a lot in his career at 21. Andreas Darum, only 26. Gold medal for him. And the more senior of the three, Martin Damsbo, another gold medal for him. That's what the week's all about, isn't it? It's a bit of an expectation with them about making it this far into the competition. It's about standing on the podium and hearing your national anthem, isn't it?
It's a great feeling, definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our athletes.
So a final round of applause for the athletes here, and all of them putting their hands in the air with their flowers. Bronze for France, another silver medal for USA, and gold for Denmark as the archers leave the field. No selfie this time.
No. It's more of a girl thing, I guess.
You reckon? Okay. You say so. So, the USA were aiming to repeat their feat of 12 months ago when they were stage winners in Antalya in 2016, but a silver medal for them this time. But one better than they did in Shanghai. There was a bronze for them in Shanghai last month in the team event, but a silver medal for them as the field gets reset for the afternoon's action. And we'll say that's it for the time being here in Antalya. All the morning matches are done. Glory for both the men and women of Denmark this morning, but will they be able to repeat that standard this afternoon? We've got some fantastic matches coming up. Danielle, thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you.
It's been great to talk to you. Great to hear your insight into the minds of the archers. Thank you.
Of course.
You've been watching live coverage of the 2017 Hyundai Archery World Cup Stage 2 in Antalya, Turkey. Thank you to viewers from NBC in the US and across the world watching online. We hope you've enjoyed the action and enjoyed the commentary too. The action continues at 3 p.m. local time here in Turkey, beginning with the mixed teams and then the individual matches. Do join us then if you can. Bye-bye for now.